Hi everyone and welcome. I'm here today with Aira and we are coming to you with a yoga practice. I'm basically just going to be doing my own little yoga practice today and we're going to see how long she lasts. So I'm going to show you what it actually looks like, which is often quite chaotic, as you'll see. But we're just going to practice, we're just going to move, we're just going to flow, and hopefully this creates a fun practice for you to do, especially if you have a toddler, or hey, maybe it's just going to be entertainment for you. That's a possibility too. But what do you need today? What do we need today for practice? We might need a yoga mat.
Eye.
We might need an eye. We might need a tooth. Mouth. Cheek. Ear. Wow. Eye. We might need a nose. We might need hair. Nose. We need a yoga mat. You might want blocks. Yeah, you might want you'll need a yoga mat. You might want blocks. You might want some blankets, some bolsters, just the typical props. Have what you have, and we'll see how it goes. All right, let's get started. Alright, we're gonna get started right away. So a lot of practicing yoga with a toddler, and Aira is 18 months, by the way. A lot of practicing yoga with all the animals I have here too. I have Blue here joining us, as you can see, sitting right down on my mat. I also have Milo, the cat over there. Oliver might join us at some point too. He's another cat. But a lot of practicing yoga with a toddler is just making sure they stay safe and don't destroy everything that's happening in the room. So you can see, as you will see, I'll probably be running after Aira a lot and making sure she doesn't eat the candles, making sure she doesn't pull anything down on herself, and trying to practice a little in the meantime. Yeah, that's a candle. So we'll get started now with our hands to heart center, just a simple Anjali Mudra gesture of the heart. Yeah. And even though there's chaos, yeah, can you find a little bit of quiet in your mind? And you can maybe keep your eyes open if that's, the eyes closed just isn't going to happen for whatever reason. If there's a dog licking you, or if little one is running around or throwing tarot cards around the room, you know, you can keep those eyes open. I'm going to see if I can close my eyes and just start to focus on the breath. Knowing that the eyes can pop open and you can become present in any moment. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. You might notice tension in the jaw softening, shoulders softening. One more breath in and out. Alright, flutter the eyes open and we'll come up to standing. I'm just gonna see if I can move through a few rounds of sun salutations, because often when I have this little one running around, I might just kind of need to get some movement in quickly. So I prioritize the things that are gonna give me the biggest relief or release towards the beginning of the practice, and sometimes that's just a few simple sun salutations. Sometimes it's just connecting with the breath for a moment. We'll do both in these sun salutations. So you can come into mountain pose, Tadasana, standing with your feet. I like them about hips width apart. Ground your feet down, lift up through the crown of your head, just trying to find some symmetry in the body, trying to find some length in the spine. And then reach your arms up to the ceiling, taking a breath in. And then as you exhale, fold down over your legs. Come into a halfway lift as you breathe in. And then with your exhalation, round down onto hands and knees, coming into a cat and cow. I find that a few rounds of cat and cow can really provide some release for any tension that might be happening in the back body, especially around the shoulders. I also carry a lot of tension in my jaw when I work, so I notice that releasing the shoulders through cats and cows can also help to loosen some of that tension in the jaw. So just arching around the spine a few times. And the spine moves all 4 directions, or rather you want to in a yoga practice move your spine in all 4 directions. So you might want to add a little bit of side body movement. A little bit of a twist. So reaching one arm up to the ceiling and then the other. I'm just taking that a few pulses. Really? One more on each side. All right. And then come into a modified plank. So shift your hips in line with your shoulders and draw your elbows alongside your ribs to lower down to the mat. Hi, beautiful. And then she's helping me lift into a baby cobra so the head was Hi. What's she doing? Hi, beautiful. Good. And then from your cobra pose, soften yourself as much as you can down to the mat. We're going to pulse that a few times. Yeah. Lift up. And then lower down. Lift up as you breathe in. And lower down. Last time, lift up, hugging the elbows in. And then this time, as you exhale, you're going to come into a child's pose, softening the hips and the heels. Yeah, no. So, this is something she likes to do often. Show me your handstand. Show me your handstand. Alright, she's running off to show me her handstand. She likes to do handstands, her version of handstands. So, with that, we're going to come back into child's pose. And then we're going to tuck the toes, lift the hips into downward facing dog, and just pedal the feet. Pedal, pedal, pedal. Wow. Gaze to the front of the mat and tiptoe all the way up into a forward fold. Soften chin into chest and round yourself up to standing. So rolling up one vertebra at a time. Reach your arms up as you breathe in. And draw your hands into heart center and then come back into mountain pose. Standing tall. Noticing any chaos, any distraction around you, any pulling on fake house plants. Could be worse. Oh no! Time to get Abra involved in these sun salutations to keep her from mischief. Reach your arms up as you breathe in. And then lower yourself all the way down. Yeah, come into a halfway lift, breathing in. Reach your arms up as you breathe in. Fold forward as you exhale. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, step yourself down through tabletop. Oh my goodness. And we were going to come into a plank pose, but look, there's an Abra here. So instead, let's do a toes pose. So tuck all 10 of your toes under, getting a nice stretch for the soles of the feet. Hi. Wow. Oh my goodness, look at that. Yeah, that's a Nini Lucy. So I just came into a toes pose here. So it's curling all 10 toes under, letting the soles of the feet lengthen a little because Miss Abra is climbing on top of me now. So just a few more moments here we're going to take, and then we're going to see if Abra is ready to let me do a few more sun salutations. So these little breaks and interruptions do happen when practicing yoga with a toddler. Okay, so I'm going to release the soles of my feet now. Maybe just give it a little tap out. And then set you here. Set your hands down, tuck your your toes back under, coming into a full plank this time if it feels supportive. Yes, and then you'll lower down in one flat board all the way to the belly. Inhale to lift into a baby cobra pose. And exhale, push through a child's pose into a downward facing dog. I'm going to give the head another shake out, the legs another pedal. Gaze forward, tiptoe all the way forward to the front of the mat. Do another roll up to stand, one vertebra at a time. Sweep the arms up as you inhale. And then hands to heart center as you exhale. Hands come alongside you. We'll take another sun A. Reach your arms up as you breathe in. As you exhale, fold forward over your legs. Come into a flat back as you breathe in. And then as you exhale, step back into plank pose. Lower in one flat board all the way to the belly. Lift into a baby cobra as you breathe in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Gaze forward to your hands. This time you can tiptoe, or maybe it's a hop forward to the front of the mat. Halfway lift to inhale. Fold forward as you exhale. Maybe you come up with a flat back this time. Reach your arms overhead. Hands to heart center as you exhale. Arms come alongside you. We'll take 2 more rounds. Reach your arms up as you breathe in. As you exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift as you inhale. This time, maybe it's a step back, maybe it's a hop back. Come into bent elbows or down to the mat. Lift into your upward facing dog or cobra pose. And then exhale your way into downward facing dog. Few breaths there. Gaze forward. Step float or fly up. Breathe in as you inhale. Lengthen as you inhale. Exhale, fold back forward. Lengthen as you breathe in. Fold forward as you exhale. Lift all the way up as you inhale, reaching tall. Hands through the heart. Arms alongside you. Last round. Breathe in, lift up. Exhale, fold down. Lift as you breathe in. Exhale, your way back through your vinyasa into downward facing dog. Gaze forward, step, hop, or float. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward, and then I'm just going to stay here for a few extra breaths. So a couple of options. You can either take your peace fingers around your big toes and hang forward, or you can come into Tadasana, stepping your way all the way up onto your hands, onto your palms. Toes can come towards the wrist creases, and I find this is a really nice stretch for the wrists here. I'll just nod my head, yes, shake it, no, just releasing a little tension in the neck. I'm taking a pretty deep bend of the knees here. And that's nice, especially if hamstrings are tight. Just a couple more breaths here. Release the hands, roll up to standing. Reach your arms up, breathe in. Hands to the center. And come alongside you. So you can either keep your feet hips width apart, or you can bring your big toes together to touch and have just a slice of space in between the heels. Bend your knees, reach your arms to come into Utkatasana chair pose. So the hips move back, fingertips lift up. Good, finding some energy in the legs. And just to make sure that the thighs are active, shift your weight into your heels and float all 10 of your toes up. Good, take a breath in. And exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, move through another vinyasa. We'll meet back in downward facing dog. And we're just gonna go through a simple round of sun B here. So you're gonna step the left foot forward to your thumb, ground your right heel down, and reach your arms overhead, coming into a warrior one. So you wanna make sure your chest is facing forward towards the front of the mat. So chest squared forward, and feet pressing down. Find some energy through the fingertips. Good, take a breath in. As you exhale, lower your hands down to the mat, and then move your way back into downward facing dog. Good, step your right foot forward to your right thumb. Ground your left heel down. Reach your upper body up, coming into your warrior one. Press down through the back heel. Lift up through all three of your fingertips. Another breath in. As you exhale, lower your hands. Make your way back into downward facing dog. Gaze forward to your hands. Step, hop, or float forward. Breathe in, lengthen. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, lift all the way up. Exhale, hands through the center of your heart. Arms come alongside you. We're going to come into a wide-legged forward fold now. So step your feet out wide. And then you can point your toes to face towards the long edge of the mat. So you want the outer edges of your feet parallel with the short edges of the mat here. Take your hands to your hips. And then you want to find a neutral spine, so chest lifting up. And you just want to make sure you're not exaggerating the curve of your low back or tucking your tail under. So finding something that is neutral in the low back, just a normal curve. And lift through the center of your chest. You can either stay here with the hands at your low back, or you can take your hands to interlace behind your back, draw the shoulder blades in, and then lift the chest up. Good. And then fold down over your legs. So this is a really nice stretch for the shoulders. Nod your head, yes, shake it now. Lift up just halfway and then change the interlace of your hands. So opposite pinky comes on top. Drag the knuckles back and then fold forward. Good, lift halfway up again. Release your interlace, take your hands down and then fold down over your legs. And your hands might come in between your legs, or you can take peace fingers around your big toes. Elbows can come out wide. You can just nod your head, yes, shake it, no. Press down through your feet. Come up with a flat back. Reach your arms up. Take your hands to your hips, and then step into mountain pose at the top of the mat. Arms can come alongside you. Good, we're going to come back into warrior one now. So you can keep your left foot where it is and then step your right foot back. Draw your arms up towards the ceiling. Look down to your feet. Make sure your feet are about hips width apart. So you can imagine your feet on train tracks here. You just don't want them on the same line. You want them on opposite tracks, opposite lines. Keep pressing down through the feet. Reaching up through the fingertips. Ava has so much to say. You have so many good things to say about warrior one. Reaching up through the fingertips. Take another breath in. Good, and then as you exhale, we're transitioning straight into warrior two here. So as you do, your hips will come a little more directed towards the long edge of the mat. Not perfectly square, but moving in that direction. And you might heel toe your front foot so they come a little more in the same line. Gaze forward. Unless you're watching your toddler. Good. Reach up through your arms. And then transition into warrior one to the back of the mat. So you'll step your back foot out just a little wider, again finding those opposite tracks with the legs. Bending through the front knee, reaching up through the fingertips. Activate the arms by lifting up a little further with your fingertips. And then warrior two, arms fan apart. You might hop that back heel in just a little, so it's a little more of a closer alignment of the feet. Lift through the chest. Straighten through the front leg. Direct alternate of your toes towards the long edge of your mat. And then step all the way back up into mountain pose. Step your right foot back again, taking a little bit of a shorter stance than your warrior one. We're coming into triangle pose, Trikonasana. So your hips will be kind of more in that warrior two alignment. So they're directed a little bit more towards the long edge of the mat. Move your right hip backwards towards the back of the mat as you shift your upper body forwards, reaching out. And then your hand could come to your shin. You might take it to a block. Rotate your chest so it faces towards the wall that you're facing, and then reach your right fingertips up towards the ceiling. And notice any sensation in your shoulders here. Notice any sensation in the chest. Press through the feet to lift your way back up. Direct your hips backwards, setting up for the opposite side. And then your right toes face towards the back of the mat. You can heel toe the feet out, so you're wanting about heel to back heel or heel to back arch alignment with the feet. Draw your hips back, lean your upper body forward, forward, forward. Right hand can come to your right shin or maybe to a block. And then lift, lift, lift through the left fingertips as you rotate the chest open. And again, notice what's happening in the chest and the shoulders, in the jaw. Notice what's happening in the mind. Good. Draw yourself all the way back upright. And then step your way back forward to the top of the mat. Coming into a little bit more of a closed hip pose for the next one. You'll step your right foot back. We're coming, so the feet are a little bit narrower of a stance than triangle pose, and the hips are going to be directed forward for this one. So you can either take your hands to opposite elbows, or you can take your hands into a reverse prayer back behind you. So you're just bringing the heels of the hands close to touching. And this is a really big stretch for the wrist, so if it hurts, don't do it. You can instead take opposite elbows. Draw your chest open. And then you can either stay upright or start to fold forward. And you want to keep a flat back as you fold forward. And you want to keep your hips squared to the mat. You can imagine drawing your chin over your big toe mound as you're taking this fold. Good. And then lift back up. And then switch to the opposite side. So right toes point to the back of the mat. Left toes angle to the back left corner of the mat. Lift through the chest. And then fold forward. Staying long through the spine. Press through the feet to lift back upright. Draw your feet to face to the long edge of the mat. Release your hands. And then step back up to the front of the mat. And you might need to shake out any sensation in the wrists or make a couple of circles. Good. And then we're going to come into a standing balance before we make our way down to the mat. So we're going to come into tree pose. So you're going to start on the left foot, shift your weight into your left foot, and then your right heel can either come down to your right ankle for baby tree, it might come up to the calf, or it can come up to the inner thigh. Your hands can come to heart center, or you can draw your arms overhead. I like to either take an interlace of the fingers, drawing the pointer fingers up to the ceiling, so kind of in a steeple grip, or take cactus arms, lifting, lifting, lifting through the chest. Good. Release, and change to the second side. So shifting the weight into the right foot, draw your left heel either to the ankle, to the calf, or to the inner thigh. Hands can come to heart center, or maybe lift your fingertips up towards the ceiling. And then if you're doing that, you can take the opposite pinky to the front of that interlace, so you're getting the opposite grip. So just challenging the mind a little, taking that non-habitual motion. Either stay here, or maybe cactus the arms, finding that lift, that opening through the chest. And then you'll release the arms. Release the feet. And come back into mountain pose. All right, one more standing balance before we come down to the mat. So we're going to shift the weight back into the left foot. And then we'll take figure 4 legs. So the right ankle can cross over the left thigh. And you can sit back as if you're coming back into chair pose with your right leg. You can take your hands to your hips to start just to make sure they're in the same line. And if you feel stable there, you can reach your arms alongside your ears as if you're coming into chair pose. Just watching Ava in the background. So it helps sometimes with standing balances to find a gaze point, something to stare at, something that doesn't move. So watching Ava probably isn't helping with my balance, but that's like that kind of thing can happen. Hi, Ava. A few more breaths. Good, and then press into the foot to come back up to standing. Switch sides. Left ankle crosses over the right thigh. Sit back into your imaginary chair. As you take the hips back, chest lifts. Arms may lift once you feel the hips are level. Yeah. Ava, do you like yoga? All right, just a few more breaths. Wow, I see you here. And then come back to center. Come back into mountain pose. Yeah. One more. Just because Miss Ava is here. Do you wanna do tree pose? You wanna do tree pose with mommy? Yeah? Say hi to the camera. Say hi. Ready? We're gonna do one more tree pose. You're too happy for that. A baby tree. Do a baby tree. Say hi. 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 Oh. Hi. Good job. Okay, enough of that tree pose. Now we're going to come down to the mat. We're going to start to wind down. Yeah? So we're going to move through a vinyasa and make our way down to seated. So, yeah, you see the picture? So we're going to lift the baby overhead. You almost kicked my face. And then lower down. Yeah. Come into a halfway lift as you breathe in. And then as you fold forward, take your vinyasa. Back into downward facing dog. Oh no. And we'll come down into a seat from here. Hi. Hi. Either in a lying position or maybe it's seated upright in a seated meditation. Yeah, that's mommy's belly. Let's take a few moments. Yeah. She's clapping down there. So our practice got cut a little short, but such is life with a toddler. We're gonna go on to the next adventure of today, huh? Oh, say bye-bye. Can you say bye-bye? You're gonna cry. Oh no, oh don't cry. Say bye-bye. 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 Say bye-bye now. Can you say bye-bye? Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.